right, let's talk more about this because the media clearly is giving Trump what he wants. Legal analysis now, the Manhattan indictment of former President Trump. Let's talk more about it. Trial attorney and former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani, along with former FBI agent and professor at Yale University. What a combo. Asha Rangappa, great to have you both. Nima, you know, the judge in this case has now signed this order allowing the DA's office to acknowledge the indictment publicly, as we just mentioned. But what does this really reveal to you in how you think this is going to all play out? Because right now we're all speculating because you really never know what's going to happen with Donald Trump.
No, we don't, and this is really uncharted waters here. So obviously this is a unique case, but there's been enough smoke out of Alvin Bragg's office. And even though those grand jury proceedings are supposed to be secret, we know many of the witnesses who've testified. So I think we can confidently say that this relates to the Stormy Daniels hush money payment. But obviously this is not going to be handled like other cases. If Trump is arraigned on Tuesday, they're going to clear out the courthouse. He's just going to be there by himself with his Secret Service detail. He's going to plead not guilty, but he will be booked. He will be fingerprinted, and he'll have his mugshot taken. So in that respect, it will be a typical case. And then the litigation will begin. His defense attorneys have already dug in their heels. But really, Kira, the big question is, will this case sort of set off a series of events that are really bad for the former president? And by that, I mean, will this embolden other prosecutors who have been hesitant, like a Jack Smith, like a Fannie Willis, to move forward with much more serious charges that'll be more difficult for Trump and his team to defend?
Right. All the other investigations surrounding Trump that are still sort of sitting out there, and we're waiting for results from those as well. And Asha, just as Rick mentioned, and you have said, the media just keeps giving Trump what he wants as well. It's a pattern, and he loves it. You even called it the first mover advantage.
Yes, in the judicial system especially, there are institutional norms about silence. We've seen this with the grand jury secrecy, the fact that the Manhattan DA's office doesn't speak publicly. Prosecutors typically speak through their filings. But what this creates is an information vacuum where Trump can make claims and sort of set the narrative before anyone has a chance to respond. And we saw this last week when he claimed that he was going to be arrested on Tuesday, and we all got into a frenzy, and of course that didn't happen. So I think we have a couple of days of this kind of information vacuum until the indictment is unsealed. We need to be very careful about what he says and taking it at face value, because he doesn't know the charges. He won't know them until they're unsealed either. And then I would also say that once they are unsealed and he moves into this rules-based framework, it's going to be a lot harder, because then he's going to have to answer to facts and evidence. There's going to be the court of law, the court of public opinion. I think his lawyers want him to shut up and only do the court of law, but I think he's going to try to do both.
Okay, when have you ever seen overall, okay, in all these incidents, Trump listened to everything his lawyers say? His lawyers have even gotten frustrated and thrown up the towel many times. So Nima, you described how it would look, if indeed Trump were to surrender, how it would kind of go down. But I'm curious, as a federal prosecutor, how would you have treated this? Would you just have done it quietly, privately, not in front of the public? Or do you think it should be out there on display? Should we see it all?
No, you shouldn't. I mean, the advantage you have as a prosecutor is that element of surprise, right? Grand jury proceedings are supposed to be secret. Same with those subpoenas. I put more than 1,000 people in federal prison, and never once did a defendant know that an indictment was coming. But here, because of different leaks from the DA's office and, really courtesies that are given Trump and his lawyers that other folks wouldn't normally have. They had a chance to meet with the DA's office, and no other defendant would have that opportunity.
Asha, I'm curious, what do you make of this whole case? With your background, your experience, bottom line, Trump can still run for president. So is this whole case even worth anything here in the end, in your opinion? Doesn't this just kind of all play out in his favor either way?
Well, I think that the rule of law does not take that into account. And we need to make sure that, when there's a violation, if the state of New York believes that there's a harm that needs to be vindicated, they should be able to bring this. I think, as Nima mentioned, he's gotten a lot of courtesies. We've seen this in this case. We saw this in Mar-a-Lago, where he was given repeated opportunities to return classified documents. But at some point, we do need to uphold the maxim that no person is above the law.
All right, Nima, Asha, appreciate you both so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.